Hello and welcome to another session of Voidheart Symphony. This session is part of the Gauntlet Gaming Calendar, which is an online gaming club/community that you can find out more about at gauntlet-rpg.com. If you're watching this or listening to this, we have a lot of other videos on the general Gauntlet YouTube channel, as well as my YouTube channel of a lot of different games. If you've come to Voidheart Symphony and you're curious about Legacy, I've got a lot of games of that on the calendar as well. Right out of the gate, get that sneeze out of the way right there. All right. So last time, we finished our first big major vassal. And this time, we're going to take up kind of setting up for that next one, dealing with aftermath. We go back to the city. There's a whole set of procedures to do for that. So I'm going to go back to the book, which I have in hand. Thank goodness here. And we're going to look at the process that goes on here. So this is the Growing Shadows. So what are you guys thinking? Does anyone have an idea about what you would like as your vassal's area of expertise or knowledge or focus? Or do you want me to put out a couple of ideas and like build from there? What do you think, Patrick?
If you've got some ideas, let's hear them and see what interests people.
So I'm going to take, there are a couple from the book that are sort of interesting. None of them exactly fit, but they have, and these are sort of the tier 2, tier 3. So the first vassal is a tier 1 that we dealt with. They don't know about the castle and its power. The second tier vassals know something about it, have some connection there, and then the third tier ones are tightly connected. So they have 3 ones that might work for us. One is they have what they call the child catcher. This is someone who works for the child protection services, family services, and are misusing that power. The second one is essentially they call the cop maker. And this is a person who is building and developing the security analysis, risk analysis systems for the city, programs that are intended to protect and pre-crime certain kinds of things. And then the other one that was on my list here is the person who is the apologist. They call the cleaner, the apologist for the essentially corporate bigwigs and highly placed people and that kind of thing. Those are sort of the general shapes of those, and we can go with one of those and tweak that. Sherry, what do you think?
Those are all interesting. I almost wonder if we couldn't consider some variation on one of those that has more to do with the ocean or the water or something about the public lands and trying to close those off. Like, I don't know, maybe something like that. Or not even that specific, but maybe something that's tied a little bit more to water.
Interesting.
Could be something kind of environmental, maybe.
You know, we talked about the fact that the city has gotten built and people have been moved around and things like that. Maybe we've got someone who is in charge of doing those kind of assessments and relocations. Something something like that.
Oh, maybe like someone who's moving people off of land that is on the water and stuff, like that they had it like a long time ago and trying to move them along for more wealthy prospects to take over that land.
Yeah, someone who is essentially using their power to move people away, and maybe even taking away certain kinds of public access of places under the guise of environmental protection, or the sovereign dominion,
Like
kind
code
of-
enforcement.
yeah, yeah. They're a code supervisor relocator. Okay, does that sound like a reasonable kind of person? Are you good with that, Sherry?
Sure.
So with that in mind, with that person in mind, we go to the Growing Shadows, back to 36. And so with our next target, we're going to figure out which of your contacts is the vassal already kind of putting the pinch on, already kind of harming. Gabriel, any thoughts on that? If you take a look at we'll have to pull up our relationship map.
And we've got a big one, don't we?
Oh, yes.
So this person, can you just refresh for me? They are involved in what field exactly?
So we know that they have authority over like assigning land or moving people along or restricting access. They are and they're misusing that power to, reassign people's titles, claim areas for the city, or even places that would be considered sort of public places, taken and turn them over into private ownership.
Okay. I wonder if Sugarhawk maybe. I'm just trying to look for someone who might get kind of screwed up by public stuff getting moved around and kind of reassigned in a problematic way. I could see Amira possibly being an issue there too. There's an aid activist there. I would say one of those two is what I'm leaning toward.
Well, we had Amira kind of tied in to the last thing. So I like the idea of Sugarhawk. How about that there are some areas that are kind of close to the water that have been sort of traditional and were kind of grandfathered in, and maybe the city kind of has let them go, and maybe Sugarhawk or a member of Sugarhawk's family lives in those, and now our particular vassal is turning their attention to reclaiming those areas and pushing those people out. Does that sound good?
Sure, yeah.
I like the idea that it's Sugarhawk's mom who's caught in this.
Oh yeah, like she has an oceanside restaurant. And like it's out over there's like a porch thing that goes out over the beach and all of that stuff. And
So a pierside restaurant.
Pierside, yeah.
yeah.
And restaurant is a charitable description for it. I think we're gonna say there. A pierside eatery.
Yes.
Okay. So that gives us so what do you think they have a set of definitions? Do you think this is a vassal who is controlling, demeaning, punishing, compromising, or exploiting their victims? Feels like controlling or exploiting, maybe. Does that sound?
Mhm.
I was
Yeah,
thinking
I would
one of
say.
those two.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down. Control, exploit. We're gonna make this a tier 2 person. So let's look at this. So Sasha, male or female?
We had a guy last time. Let's have a woman.
Okay. Her name is Carla Moreau. Okay. And for Carla Moreau, like, what happened that kind of put you in the path to cross that you have encountered it? Is it that Sugarhawk came to you, or is it someone else, or how do you think it is? Is it that your place is located nearby? What do you think?
I think Sugarhawk came to us. He's got close connections with several of us now. And I sort of spent a lot of time last time, like, making sure he knew the relationship was good.
So when you went to kind of look into this, Sasha, what do you think it was that told you that the supernatural was involved? Was it something that they were doing? Was it some vision you had? Was it another supernatural informant? What do you think it was that gave you that insight, Sasha?
If we're going with like zoning ideas, what if a particular neighborhood connected to Sugarhawk got like rezoned, redistricted recently, and there are people who like physically can't go in there. Not maybe up to the point of like a force wall, but a thing of like, no matter how much they try or how much you try to convince them, they just can't make themselves go into the neighborhood.
Yeah, there's some kind of aversion that you've seen that. You've seen some people that have been unable to do that. Mendel, we have a center of power for this person that we're going to put on the map associated with them. And this is also going to be a place that is going to be where their shard sort of lies.
Right.
So is it public offices? Is it a particular place for zoning compliance meetings? Is it a cafe, or that they usually, attend? What do you think it is?
So I think that there is a corporate office downtown, because some years ago, rather than having municipal employees per se do the code enforcement and zoning, they contracted it out to a company. And that company has offices in one of the moderate size skyscrapers downtown. And I think that while technically Carla is a city employee, her office is actually in there. Like, they basically gave her a corner office. It's totally not a conflict of interest, because she's the one who approves their budget,
Right.
And contracts.
So it's probably, a corporation purely set up for this, and it's probably, like City of Ocean Zoning, Inc.
Yes. And
Cozy.
Yeah, well, yes. And it's located on the 15th through 17th floors of the Molokai building.
Okay.
Which is mostly glass, at least on the
Mostly
outside.
glass, and we're going to assume right by the ocean, like there's the drive that's out
Mhm.
front, and then you're right out there onto the ocean. It's prime, beautiful skyscraper
Mhm.
real estate there.
Yep.
Okay, so we have our vassal. We now need to go through and make these rolls that are kind of unpleasant. So we are at the start of the investigation. And each of us is going to check against our worst gauge. So
Are there any gauge resets? Do we go back to our defaults?
no, I think we got the
No, I think we all avoided ticking up the gauges. We do erase all our old crises.
right.
We do actually do. I thought that they stay around. They're just not imminent.
No, I think they're erased.
Oh,
Is
they
my
are. Okay.
understanding. Yeah.
It was
part of
not clear
the
to me given what
Yeah.
I was reading. So
part of the peace and quiet subroutine is blah, 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 erase all crises from your sheet, then day-to-day life, and then we get new ones.
So what we're going to do is we're going to roll for the grind. Then I want to do, like, outside of moves and actions like that, do a day of letting the group interact with NPCs or do things they want to do to give us a chance to do a little bit of downtime before we actually, like, really get into this next investigation. What is your worst gauge, Sasha?
It's probably lack. It's definitely lack.
Okay. Oh yeah, it is, isn't it?
So that's the dice on this page, which keeps throwing up errors, but maybe will work. Fine, yeah, just keep being that. That's I don't even care. Okay, I care a little bit if you're never actually gonna roll.
Yeah, let me do another game room and see if that works. Because I'm having the same thing.
So here, there's actual dice. Curse you, internet.
yeah, I don't think it's our internet.
Yeah, no, there's something definitely wrong with.
Yeah, it's server side.
Well, here, I have one die and I'll roll it twice. That is a 6. And that is a 2.
Okay, so that is a weak hit. So on a weak hit, there's trouble incoming. We're going to write down a crisis tied to that gauge, and it's going to start the investigation imminent. So the examples I give are eviction threats, healthcare costs, malnutrition, your car's busted, student loans. What do you want as that crisis that is hanging over you right now, Sasha?
I'm not sure because I just went through one that was also lack.
Yeah. So this is
Think of something that's different. What were you gonna say?
how about this? One of the things is that you offer security services, right? And locksmithing and that kind of thing. That's your big thing. I think that there is a new industry disrupting gig based like security and locksmith company that has, they're flash in the pan. They can't survive on this business model, but in the meantime, they can drive down the competition and maybe eventually buy people out. What's the name for this lock and security system disrupting gig company?
It's something dumb. It's like locker, like LCKR.
Yeah. So Locker promises to revolutionize how people see security in their homes. Well, really, mostly what they do is they set up Amazon nests in people's houses and that kind of thing. So right now, like over the last few weeks, because they've been running promotions and specials and pushing it out hard in the city, you've seen lots of your casual kind of traffic that makes up a portion of your business just absolutely dry up.
Nice. I like that.
Let's see. Next is Gabriel. Gabriel, you don't have one gauge that is the worst. So you've got a number of choices.
Maybe heat.
Okay, heat. So harassment campaigns being watched, tanked credit score, threats to your employer. Let's have you roll.
Okay, and we're kind of using our own dice here because it looks like the roller is okay. And just to clarify, I don't know why I'm not remembering this, but because I have 3, is it 3d6 that I'm rolling?
Nope, you're rolling 2d6.
2d6.
You want 4s or better.
Oh, because it's that's the target number, the gauge level. Okay, so 2d6, and we've got a 2 and a 4.
So that is a weak hit as well.
Yes.
Right now, the crisis is going to start imminent. What do you think that crisis is?
I liked the one that we had in the last vassal, where there was some kind of huntsman, if you will, who was coming after me from the castle.
Okay. So I think that ever since you were in that, like you stepped into that pond in the last shard in that castle, I think that you have seen something. Maybe an echo of yourself, or maybe another minion that has changed and has been pursuing you. I think it's the kind of thing where you haven't yet like run into them, but they clearly can look like you. And like you've been places where people have said, "Oh, you're back," and you weren't there that day. Or you've seen where like you would usually go to pick up something like at a shop, and when you go to pick it up, it's wet, like someone else has already handled it with wet hands. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay. Charlotte, you have 2 worst gauges, blood and infamy. You are also muted.
I like infamy.
Okay.
I think she's feeling a little tired, but I don't think I want that to be a crisis.
Okay. Criminal allegations, malicious rumors, can't meet clothing standards, your past shame is coming to light. These are all those things.
Roll 2 mercies. I don't know if you can see it, but 2 6s.
2 6s.
Yes.
So it's going to start quelled. What is the nature of this crisis?
So my last period at school is chemistry, and my chemistry teacher has always been cool that if I finish up the lab, they don't have any problem with me leaving early for the day. He actually believes me when I say I have 2 younger siblings that I have to go check on. However, he has gotten sick or something. He's been gone for a couple weeks, and they've put in a new teacher who has taken over teaching, and they've started marking her down for leaving early. Even though they said this was an agreement that I had with the, and like, no, not in my classroom. And I may have muttered something about a substitute teacher who thinks they're so great, and that didn't help. But how should we say?
But it's at the moment it's not
Tick the
good.
marks. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It does mean that luckily for you, you don't have disadvantage. The crisis is still there, but you don't have disadvantage to roll infamy during this. And then we come to Pam. Pam, you have heat and fealty.
I'm gonna roll heat.
Okay.
I guess are we is online working? It doesn't look like it.
It
so-
doesn't. Yeah, you should roll your own dice. Sorry.
All right. Well, I have craps generator. Okay. Here we go. All right, a 1 and a 3.
1 and a 3. So
Imminent and dire.
imminent and dire.
I'm
What do you
stalked
think
by a
this
former
is?
client.
Okay. Tell us the nature of this stalking.
So I think this is a client who hired me to well, let's just generate some information on this first. So all right, he is okay. So question is, what did he hire me to do and how did that resolve? So I think that he hired me to prove something, to basically prove something that couldn't be proved. To like, it's one of those, I think this is a thing where he hired me to find evidence to convince his spouse that that their suspicions were not true, and and instead I found the opposite.
So blames you for
blames you for the collapse of his marriage. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. That gives us a good set of things. I'm going to reset the clock that is present on the universal moves. We'll reset that. Sasha, I'd like to give you a chance to call a scene before we get into actions.
Sure.
Person you want to talk to. I mean, and we can go to roles and moves and actions if you want to build up contacts or things like that, or if you just want to do something else.
So out of my major covenants,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever actually had any scenes like live interactions with Amira.
Okay.
So maybe something with them.
Absolutely. So what is it that would like put you in contact with them? What is their they're the sage to you?
Yeah. This is teachings guide you in a significant decision. Yeah, I think it's whatever part of their community work that like they had to lay low and not go out and do while what's his name, Kubiak was around and
Mhm.
pressuring them. So I don't know, is there some
Yeah.
particular like
Well,
community project?
let me suggest this, that Amira kind of slides into your place of business. Now, is that place of business in that building that you own?
Hmm.
Okay.
It's like the ground floor, big like window front shop part of it.
Okay. So Amira comes in, and you haven't talked with them for a while. Um, but you know that since that vassal was thrown down, they've had a little bit easier chance to work. And they come in and they say, Sasha, um, I need some help.
Is it a refit on all of your locks? Because we're running a special right now.
No, well, yes and no.
All right.
I don't know if you know, I had to kind of shift my work for a bit, and I'm just now getting caught back up. I have some people in my like community circles who I was helping, but so they got locked out of their apartments, and their stuff's in there, and uh because of the nature of this, it's pretty clear that the landlord's just going to either trash or throw away their stuff.
Well, it'd be a shame for the landlord to waste a whole day throwing out apartments full of perfectly good stuff. I mean, we could probably handle that sort of work for him as a favor.
Yeah, I just was hoping maybe it's 4 different apartments on 2 different buildings. If you could, if we could range and you could just open them.
Well, 2 buildings, only like 2 jobs then. It's just, same procedure from one to the other. That shouldn't be hard.
I don't know. Is there something you need? I mean, I don't have a lot of cash for this kind of thing. What can I do for you?
Look, I'm not exactly liquid recently either. Usually the shop at least takes care of the bills, but I don't know, everybody's got that horrible program on their phone now.
Oh, that locker thing?
Yeah, yes, that. But, you know, fixing up that place and having Pam move in, it sort of got me thinking, like, there's a lot of space I don't use in this building, and I'm not looking to become a landlord and manage tenants, and that all sounds terrible and awful, but like,
Uh-huh.
if you know of anybody that could use a place to stay and could pay something, not a ton, but that would help with some of the expenses coming up here.
I mean, if you're not picky about your tenants, I can probably find some people.
Well, I mean, don't move trouble into my building necessarily, but if
They
you've
look
got
at you
some
very
people,
seriously and they say, everybody is trouble.
fair. How about people that know how to manage their trouble usually? I mean, Pam and I, we don't want people poking in too deep into our stuff. I get that. I respect that.
People who keep to themselves or the trouble that they get in is not going to be in your building.
Right. Just wipe their feet at the door sort of policy.
Okay. Okay. I can do that for you.
Get me the addresses. I'll look into what you need.
Okay. Sasha, would you like to take the lasting advantage for hanging out with the sage, or would you like to unfade that covenant?
Let me unfade that covenant because the city move of the sage has access to an exclusive group. Use your membership of this group to open doors. I sort of like that of like getting in deeper with their circles and maybe calling on a bit of the revolutionary underground for help at some point.
Absolutely. Gabriel, do you have a scene that you'd like to call before we get into formal actions?
Would it allow me to unfade a covenant? Do you do that
If that's what you want to do, or if you want to do a city move, or if you want to do a hangout move?
Just real quick, I think I would like to bring Asteria some flowers. It doesn't have to be a long drawn protracted scene or anything like that, but she did mention that during the fight scene in the last session, you never talk to me, you never bring me flowers. It was that sort of thing. So
tell me about this club. Do you see her there, or do you visit her sort of in the liminal space?
Ooh. Let's do the liminal space for this one. Just because I'm afraid I might stand out in the club a little too much.
Yeah. So, and what does that space look like? When you go to visit her, to transit into that, what space is she in?
I forget what they used to call it. In Persona 3, there was like a blue room or something to that effect.
That'd be the Velvet Room.
The Velvet Room, that was it. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe something along those lines. This sort of pocket dimension removed from everything else.
Absolutely. We got to cut that like weird piano jazz kind of playing in the background. The walls are kind of bluish curtains that kind of waver like waves. There are patrons here, but they're kind of half in, half out. You're not sure if they're just dreamers or something else. And Asteria, will greet you and she'll say, Gabriel, it has been too long.
Well, I thought I'd bring you something just as a little apology for not checking in with you more. And I'll kind of withdraw this bouquet of irises, blue like the curtains, and offer those to her.
Very nice, very nice. Your taste is exquisite. Come and sit.
Yeah, of course. And I'll flop down wherever she allows me to.
You and your friends have made a lot of noise.
Have we? We're not like drawing attention to ourselves, are we? It was one vassal.
2 vassals.
I guess that would be 2 now, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But still, they're so minor. It's not like anything big's coming our way, right?
There's always something big coming. The ocean is always lying in wait for you. But the people I talk to, the Doctor of Thursdays and the Skate Witches, they're all awake and aware that there's a fight going on.
Well, it's not a big deal though if they know about us, right? We can take them, I think.
No. These are not people that you take. These are people who run in tangential circles. And you, see, you want to be particularly careful because you might be mistaken for something else.
I'm not one of them, I say, making reference to the castle's minions.
I know, but you're not one of them. And she gestures, and you can tell that she's referring to the rest of your group. Though you might wish to be, but there are those who might mistake you for an elemental or homunculus or something else.
Well, whatever I am, it's not one of the castle's minions. I'm not part of that thing, at least not anymore.
Certainly not now. What do you want to be? Do you want to be a real boy? Is that why you've come to the Blue Fairy?
I just want to. I guess I just want to be someone who fixes things instead of breaks them.
That's a good place to start. And here, you've come to me, you've brought me a gift, you've done the work there, you've fixed whatever strain we had between us.
I can count on you, right? I mean, I know I did get a little bit pushy back there with the spider monster and all that.
No. As I say, you've done the work. You've brought me a gift. You've acknowledged my presence. That's all you need to do. I will help you.
You're easier to get along with than most people, I guess.
Very true. I am a sparkling wit and an easy person to chat with.
Well then, I guess you can expect to hear from me soon. And if you need anything from me, then you just let me know, okay? I'll be there. We're friends, you and me.
Absolutely. I appreciate the offer, and I will remember your promise.
Well, I guess I'd better be getting back. Like you said, things are getting kind of weird down there.
Absolutely. Thank you for the flowers. I'll be sure to put them in water.
Yeah. Thanks, I say, and I'm blushing, and I don't know why exactly.
Nice. You may unfade that covenant.
Okay, cool.
Charlotte, what scene would you like to call?
That's hard. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call a scene with Victoria. Let's see here.
Where do you want to meet up with her? At school, at one of the subway stations, somewhere else?
Yeah, I think I want to talk her in to going out on like one of the sightseeing boat trips that you can go on. Just like one of the smaller ones, like probably actually one that's probably run out of Bartertown, but in some ways, like it's people from Bartertown that run it, but not off their piers. It's like that's their business and they have the things because they're smaller boats and they'll go out there in places where the big charters can't.
Okay.
And kind of more that I want to get closer to see the things, but I'm very much like if you're okay with the water, being out there.
Mm-hmm.
But if she is, I would love to go do that.
So yeah, she's maybe a little bit, I don't want to say slumming, but maybe a little bit low, like it's a little more risky than her family would normally let her do. So she's a little nervous about that, but she will go and join you. What do you talk about?
I think I talk about like wanting to go to school to become an oceanographer. You know? And like what I wanted to do, she certainly was talking about she wanted to be an athlete, but also, but going to college as well. So I think it's talking about those things and figuring that out.
Yeah, you can tell that she is getting a lot of pressure from her family to do a much more sort of focused academic career than anything else. That the sort of the athletic stuff is kind of getting dismissed by her family. But she says, but you have it. I mean, for you, it's a bigger challenge. I mean, are you going to be able to get scholarships to do what you want to do?
Because, yeah, I'm going to start applying this year. Part of it is, I think that if I can I'm gonna go to the colleges and see if I can like work in the summer on some of these things where they go out for the professors and stuff to do sightings and pick up their sensors and stuff like that. And then maybe I can get some in on some of the scholarships and the different offerings that they have that aren't as, how do you say, just out there sitting at the guidance counselor office. Because I don't know a lot about it, but I know I can do this.
Are you going to be able to do that and your work and your family?
Oh, yeah.
She narrows her eyes a little there. I mean, don't burn yourself out.
And she goes, I really love it.
Well, if you do, then I'm sure you'll be able to find a way to do it.
She goes, you too.
We'll see. We'll see. And I think
I'm rooting for you.
I think you can unfade that covenant.
Okay. Yes. And we will get like really close to, I don't know, something awesome out there.
There aren't whales this far south, but there probably are other sea life here that you can see.
Oh no, maybe like a big group of rays or something.
Okay.
Okay.
Pam, what would you like to do? What scene would you like to call for this?
I am planning, so I'm thinking of doing a check-in with Sugarhawk, actually,
Okay.
which maybe is how we find out about stuff.
Well, I think you already kind of know about that.
Oh, okay.
So we don't necessarily have to frame it up that way.
That's fine.
So what kind of interaction, what kind of meetup do you have with him?
Well, the hangout move that I have involves him daring me to do something dangerous. I'm probably meeting up with him
Okay.
in order to, because I'm probably on a job looking for a missing dog, possibly from a family that lost access to their home because of the vassal, although maybe I don't know that yet.
Okay.
So, but so as I'm chatting and otherwise trying to gauge if he's seen this poor beast.
She says, I think I know where it's at, but I mean, that dog is actually got some breeding to it. And I don't think those owners, the people who have it now, are just going to hand it over. But,
Yeah, do tell.
but I do know that there is a dog show happening. And, if you could just be absolutely balls to the wall crazy and just walk in and take the dog. And what do you think?
Well, it's probably it's a crapshoot. Sure, sure. If you know for sure that this dog is going to be at the dog show,
I am a percentage sure
is that
that dog
percentage
is
larger or smaller than 50? Would you say?
larger.
Okay, okay. I'll take that. I'll take that. I
And so what is
I got a favorite toy, so I'll know.
okay? So
I'll
what
know
does that
whether it's
look
the
like?
right
What
dog.
is the high point of you going into the middle of a dog show that is, kind of being filmed, and people are showing
Mhm.
off their dogs, and they've got the dog. It's been cleaned up. It's been manicured and shampooed and shaved and all that. And you're going to go in and grab it. What does that look like?
Right. Well, so clearly the best way to do this is to is that there's so I'm assuming and this is I think a reasonable assumption that the family that has this dog or that has sort of found this dog and is showing it is also showing other dogs.
That makes
Because
sense.
they would have just found a dog 2 weeks ago and decided to start showing her at dog shows. So so it's one of those things where the opportunity is going to be when they're showing their prized dog,
Mhm.
or at least the prized dog that isn't the one I'm looking for. And at that moment, they'll have put they'll have secured their other dogs either in a kennel or I'm more familiar with cat shows than dog shows, but
Right.
and so at that moment they will be distracted, and I can go in there, and if I can look enough like a judge, no one will question, and then till they notice that I'm leaving with the dog.
Mhm.
But it could also be just no, I'm the dog needs some air, right?
So
And
do you think it is on the
that is my
razor's?
plan.
Is it on the razor's margin? Is it completely successful, or is it more of a kind of a Keystone Cops kind of operation when you get a hold of it?
Oh, I think that there's so see, part of me is inclined to go, okay, I go there, I get the dog, I have to get the dog out of the kennel, and then it's not until I get the dog outside that I discover that no, this is just a dog that looks a lot like the other dog.
I like that.
And it's just like, no, does not respond to the right name, does not have any interest in that squeaky toy. That's or his favorite stuffy chew, and just or her favorite stuffy chew. And so I just says, oh, I gotta go get something from the car. Can you take them back to table 19?
Nice. But you did do the dare, so you may clear a condition.
All right.
Let's take our first break here. We'll take 10. We'll come back and we'll start into the daily moves, the investigations. Okay. How's Tyler doing, Patrick?
We're both feeling a lot better physically.
Okay.
It was really, really hard with our friend who is a long-term good friend of mine and a lifelong friend of Tyler's.
I'm so sorry to hear
I've had better weeks.
that. It has been one fucking
Yeah.
last
But
couple
we
of weeks.
we are both feeling much better physically.
Oh, good.
He's about a day and a half, 2 days ahead of me, feeling better, and has a voice which actually has vocal range and isn't just three frogs dying.
That is good. I'm glad that he's recovering at least a little. Sherry's had all kinds of people at work get sick, not have symptoms, then have symptoms after they've gotten sick, and it's just a mess where she's at.
Last cycle of them, lots of them like having symptoms, but testing negative, then finally testing positive, then feeling great, but still testing positive. Just big long rigmarole.
She had what one of her managers went on a murder mystery weekend, and 5 of 6 of them got COVID from it.
That
So-
mystery is not very hard to figure
Yeah,
out.
exactly. All right. I'm going to pull it up. So we go into the stage now of doing the investigation moves. We've got our grind already set, and we do our daily procedure. Right now, the vassal is passive, is unaware of you, so you've got those ticks for that, and you've got everyday actions and rebel actions, and everyday actions can include reforming your fated covenants. It can be doing those covenant moves. It can be establishing a new contact or raising a contact up to a new level, whatever you feel like doing, or actual investigation. I'm going to go in the same order that I did just a minute ago, which puts you in first position again, Sasha.
Ow! No, actually,
Oh,
I do know what I want to at least start with. It's not necessarily a move, but it's a procedure. It's a thing.
a procedure. It's
I know,
not
right?
necessarily a move. It's a procedure. No sentence has ever described this game better than that.
Oh no, laughing bad. But at the end of our last investigation, I chose the occupation reward, where I'm sort of sitting in Russ Kubiak's place in the castle hierarchy, and as far as at least some of the
Yeah.
automated communication systems are concerned, there's still a vassal there. So at the start of each investigation, the architect will give you a vision of what the castle at large is working on in the city. So I think to start with, like, in our montage of in between life scenes, we've seen Sasha also stopping at that Wi-Fi cafe a lot. Like, it's become part of his daily routine. And so I'm sort of like, as he finishes up his coffee and tosses it in the trash, he like makes a turn to go to the bathroom before he leaves, and he slips into that like under construction area. And so what is the remainder of this shard look like, and how does the information come through to Russ Kubiak?
I think that Russ himself as a figure here is gone. But I think what you get is a place that is a castle. it has that same sort of architecture of the Art Deco and the sort of the Ayn Randian look, but that's all black and oily and kind of maybe a sheen to it. And there is water everywhere, is damp and oily. And I think that's one of the things that you can definitely feel that is an echo of the city itself, of what the Shard does is it takes natural things, it takes natural order like the oceans and the waters and things like that, and it twists them, and it darkens them, it makes them into a resource, into a good.
Gross.
Yes. So what is your throne, your seat, your place within this moist, black, oily castle?
So I think along with the Art Deco, it's held on to that some of like corporate office work vibe that it had. And I think in particular that boardroom is sort of intact, like not nearly as grand and gilt as it was, but there is still that long table and the very nice like leather head of the table seat up in the front of it.
Yeah, big windows, but outside it looks like sort of roiling water and oil out there. Hard to see through the black water of it. What do your servants look like here?
It's they're those weird like clay melty Gumby people, headed up by the one that I'd like made a connection with, who still very much wears his cookie cutter office suit uniform sort of look. But I think he has like a wildly patterned pocket square thing that is just like vibrant and stands out, and the others that are left here that haven't succumbed to the just dissolution of wetness try to imitate and have like their own colorful bits to their business suit uniforms.
Absolutely. Your damplings.
It's my little clay damplings.
They listen and obey. Sometimes they ask why you haven't brought the other one back to heal.
The other one?
And then they go on about their business. Gabriel, what is it that you are doing?
I want to follow up on this doppelganger.
Okay.
So I think the move here is I think Rebel Eyes. I'm trying to look for information here.
Yeah. That certainly makes sense to me. So let's have you roll with heat.
Okay. So let's give this a go here. A 4 and a 2.
Okay. And I believe your heat is
I think
3.
it's a 3, so I think that's a mixed.
So that's a mixed success. So on a hit, you have a clear idea how to get the information, but the architect may give you 1 or 2 of these requirements, and then since it's a weak hit, I'll also pick something out. So what is it you want to know? Let me frame that first.
You're saying what is it that
What is it that Gabriel wants to know right now?
I want to know? Um, I guess I just want to know, who is this person who everyone keeps saying, "Oh, you're back. Oh, yeah, I've seen you around." And like, who is this guy? And if that's too detailed, then maybe at least like, where are people seeing him, or how could I
No.
meet up with him? That sort of thing.
I think that you can tell that there's something very strange about this figure, and that you're going to need to enlist the services of someone weird. So tell me about this weird person. Do you go see one of the skate witches? Do you go see the Doctor of Thursdays, or do you go to someone else?
Hmm. I like the skate witches idea. Maybe start there.
Okay. Let me grab, if I can find an image here. One second. Okay, come on. The pictures.
They're in my decor boardwalk witches Pinterest if you want some.
Well, do you want to drop one or two of them into the
Yes, I will
thing?
happily do that.
Okay. So yeah, they are colorfully dressed punks in sort of pieced together clothing. And when you go to kind of check on them, kind of ask through the grapevine, you will find yourself confronted by these maybe 16, 17, 18-year-old figures that kind of skate around. One of them will kind of settle in, bring his skates to a stop, while the others kind of circle around. And this skate witch will say, "You're hunting for something."
I don't suppose I'm very good at hiding my motives, am I?
Did you need to hide them?
I don't think so. I'm coming to you guys.
What is it you want? What is it you want to find out? You come to us. Come to us. We wander around. We read the tea leaves. We read the seaweed. We drive around. We skate.
There's a guy out there who looks just like me. People keep saying, "Oh, you're back. Oh, there you are. Oh, I just saw you." And everyone insists they just talked to me, but I don't remember ever talking to them before. But they know someone was there.
Is it a shadow? Is it a doppelganger? Is it a clone? What do you think it is?
Do the skate witches know anything about the castle?
You're not sure.
Okay. Well, I don't know. It whatever it is, it's made from the same stuff as me. If you get what I mean.
Yeah. Kind of starts doing that slow spin around you. Yeah, I see that now. So, do you want this thing to not follow you anymore? Or do you want this thing bagged? Or what?
Well, I want to know what it is. I'm afraid if it doesn't follow me, then I'm not going to learn anything about it or where it's coming from or what it wants. And that's good information for me to have. So I just want to know more about it. I don't know enough to get rid of it yet.
Interesting, interesting. That's a way to look at it. Yeah. So how about you give us a chance and we'll figure out a way for you to corner them, talk to them? Because it seems like that's what you want to do.
I can't think of any other way to figure out what's up with them now.
We can do that for you. We can get that for you.
And what do you want from me? Anything?
Yeah, you haven't done anybody any harm.
You guys are easy to get along with too.
Yeah, if you haven't hurt anybody, then we are. But if you do, then that's not great.
Okay. I'll be
We'll
in
get
touch.
on it. We'll get on it. We'll start looking. We'll start skating about.
Okay. All right. Well, be in touch, and
Okay.
I'll get out of there.
All right. And you saw the picture we have for them. All right. Let's come then for your first move. Sherry, what do you want?
Oh, I think I'm gonna have to inadvertently end up having a hangout with Asteria.
Okay.
I, yeah,
Is this at the house?
oh yeah, I think she quarters me at the house, at that apartment, essentially.
Hey, I know this is none of my business.
I should stop because I'm packing lunches.
But maybe we could have a little conversation.
Sure. That sounds great.
Don't let me interrupt you. You just go
Oh.
along with your business.
Will. She'll get out the cutters. She'll cut the like little flowers out of the carrots.
So your dad's a little worried about you.
Why is that?
He is worried that you might be hanging with the wrong crowd. And I'll tell you what he saw and why he might be. Now, I certainly said to him that there was nothing to worry about, but he saw you with a couple of older people. Like not high schoolers.
Yeah,
That
sometimes
you seem to be like, as he put it, running with. One of them looked like kind of a shady butch woman, and the other guy kind of a little, as he put it, maybe wannabe goth.
want to be goth. Oh.
But your dad, he doesn't know how to like, he's not very good with this kind of stuff, but
Okay.
this is like, I told him, you might be like getting interested in pro wrestling or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that would be a fine hobby. But no, not this. I will talk to him.
Okay.
But that seems very. And she sort of stops and she goes, that's not who I hang out with. I mean, I hang out with Gabriel and Victoria and sometimes Terrence, but not very much.
I said to your dad, you didn't have anything to worry about.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. I guess I owe you a favor.
That's very nice of you to say. Yes, I think let's consider it that way. Why don't we?
All right. I look at her side eye. I think like our hangout one is like she gives me some horrible task.
She says, I do have a favor I need right now.
Ooh,
I have a friend who works at a little like cabaret,
okay.
and they just got in a big consignment load from a theater that closed down, and they need somebody to go through and inventory and label the clothes. I was trying to think of someone who could help them out. And certainly you'd be paid for it.
Okay. Sure. She goes, so this is like theater clothes, or are they like period things, or period costume, or and she's like picking up her.
Would you be bothered if I said both?
No.
Both.
Okay. Well, I'm sure whoever's there will have more considered instructions of how to sort. I like sorting.
That's why I thought. I know. I thought you immediately came to mind. I see when your dad gives you Skittles, you immediately have to tear the bag open and put them in all the different colors.
That's right. He's always been my favorite task. Exactly
Okay.
that sort of thing. She's amused.
And I think that essentially we will cut to the going to the place, and the woman says, yeah, it's in the shipping container out back.
Oh, okay. Where
The
do you
kind
want
of
me to do the sorting?
it looks like there's enough room in the container to move things around and there. I'll bring a little fan out too.
And maybe some lighting?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
And basically there's one of those big sort of Maersk shipping containers with the side open on it, and a electric cable run out to a clip-on lamp, and a label maker, and all these boxes of different sizes and shapes in there, in this thing. It is a mess, but every box is a delight to open.
Okay, and I think my thing is I sort of turn and I say, okay, what are the most important categories? And she sort of stops and goes, do you need size or do you need style?
She says, I think we better start with size. That's going to make the biggest difference.
All right. And I'll actually pull out my tape measure.
Okay. So do you want to refresh infamy or lack on top of the unfading of the Asteria covenant?
Oh, I think, oh, what sounds good? I think lack,
Okay.
because, yeah,
Yeah, take
I
that
think-
tick off of that.
sure. I'll tell you what, I'll turn this into a part-time gig,
Okay.
if that makes any sense. So
Absolutely.
I will get some dollars out of this. Not huge, but enough so I can buy my own coffees and not have to ask Dad.
Pam, what do you want for your first action here?
I think I'm going to be wandering in around the part of the city where this dog has gone missing. And I'm going to be just looking around, asking around for it. or ask around for her. And yeah, it's I'm gonna while I'm leaning towards read the wind.
Yeah.
So obviously my detail is not going to be where's the dog. But that's the framing context of why I'm wandering the city.
Okay.
So in particular, you know what, I'm inclined to request an unexpected meeting with an NPC.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a good one to go for.
Absolutely. I think that it makes sense if as you are kind of wandering around, you've
Mhm.
got the picture of the dog, you're checking on things like that, that you will uh, uh, hear someone call your name, and you will see Sedenia Gabaji.
Okay.
And she's Miss Doriot.
Oh, it's good. It's good to see you. I haven't. How is your investigation of Bartertown been going?
It has been interesting. Is again, it's always difficult to get people to talk. But
You know, one of these days I should swing down there with you. I might be able to help you out with that.
since you is that your private eye training or your background,
Well,
or
I
what
mean, I
is
have
it
the kind of face where people either open up to me or punch me. So, you know.
that seems good and bad.
Yeah, in equal measure.
So what is it that you
Well, right now I'm looking for a lost dog.
ah, ah. Is that a euphemism?
No. Well, so the picture.
Oh, it is a literal.
Yep, there's a family
Uh,
that lost their dog when they got midnight evicted.
There's been a lot more of that of late. I know.
Yeah. Yeah, there has. I don't know.
So
Have you noticed that there's been more people moving to Bartertown?
it's not that, it's just I've been hearing of general displacements, not necessarily people getting sent out to Bartertown, but pressure on certain places happening more and more. It seems that the city authorities have turned their eye to anything along the ocean side these days.
Now, someone's in the pocket of some developer, at the very least.
That is often the case. But this is, she kind of stops and she says,
Mhm.
it feels like there's more to it.
Hmm.
I have a friend who's a sensitive, and she says that there's more to it.
Hmm. Well, that definitely bears investigation.
Really? You don't seem skeptical.
Oh, I've seen all sorts of things.
Interesting. She seems like a little nonplussed that you are taking this with a certain amount of ease. Oh, okay. Well, if I see your dog, I'll certainly.
Well, not my dog, but my clients. And they're, you know, the client has got 2 young kids, and so the sooner the better.
All right.
Mhm. But yeah, I we should get together sometime so I can help you out in your research. And I would like to talk to your friend at some point too.
Ah, yes, my friend. Yes. Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Uh,
Or, if yeah, we're using that term euphemistically, we can talk.
all right. So let me ask you this.
Mhm.
Are you giving them validation for their belief in the supernatural?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not going to be super precise about it, but yeah, I mean, it's like, uh, yeah, I've seen. I'm sure it's actually one of those things. Have I actually encountered anything supernatural outside of the shard itself?
You've seen some
Other
weird
than like,
stuff outside. Gabriel, for example.
true. Yeah. No, it's like, mhm.
So if you want to mark world,
Okay,
you can go ahead and make her into a major covenant.
sure.
Okay. And then you can, of course, take advantage forward
Okay. Got it.
on this on things as well. Does that seem reasonable?
I was already kind of leaning on giving her death
Interesting.
as the covenant type.
That sounds good.
So that one's an interesting one that is not, well, like the Arcana is not exactly what you think it is.
Right.
So all right.
Let's come back to Sasha. Sasha, what would you like to do for your second move?
So I imagine those people dealing with eviction, it's sort of a time sensitive thing.
Yeah.
So I want to stay on Amira's good side, and I want to get this connection going good. So I need to take care of them, guide them in and out. I sort of see two bits to it.
Sure.
There's a pass beneath notice to like time it so that they can get in and out and have enough time to get their stuff while the various landlords are away.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also potentially a vent aspect because one of my tools in the castle is my thieves tools that can open any door. So my like all access skeleton key that I could pull out from the magic of the castle.
Well, which one do you want to lean into? Like which one do you want to have the effect from? The more interesting one is vent. Like,
Yeah, oh
I'm
definitely.
assuming you can pass between beneath notice with this landlord. That seems like a thing you can do, but what is the point that you have to vent? You have to use the void's power in the city. What happens?
Yeah, so I think the first building, the first two tenants, it sort of goes without a hitch. Like I'd made some cold calls and faked some like ad promotion stuff to find out what sort of locks and things were on the building already,
Mm-hmm.
and like I had a workup and a profile for those. The landlord was out like at some other building for the afternoon fixing some call, like maintenance call that I had called in,
Mm-hmm.
and we get those two families in and out. But when I go to do it at the second building, like I've already got this under my belt, I'm confident in everything. This other landlord, like Sasha's on the street, just fucker. Why did he do this? Because he's gone in and changed all of the locks in the building since he like put up the eviction notice for these two.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just the windows now. It's got to be now. I don't have time to figure out how to bump through these locks.
Okay.
So I think it's a thing of him like going off by himself for a moment and sort of like undoing the top of his shirt and reaching in underneath, and there's like a sort of moist crunching noise as he pulls out this like bone and blood key.
Mm-hmm. So this is a strength you'd have in the castle. Right? Is there any other effects you want to have?
Let's see.
Do you want to conceal your identity?
Yeah, I wanna make sure that not just me, but like the people, so that the like there's no nosy neighbor that talks about how, oh, that family came snuck back in after their eviction or whatever.
Okay, that seems fair. So that's 2 effects.
And perceive something beyond your senses. I've got
Okay.
this sort of like general feel of not just the zoning person, but the castle as a whole, like infiltrating the water and the natural parts of the city. I want to see if
Mm-hmm.
I can see any part of that in this building as I'm going through.
Then let's have you roll with fealty.
Oh, all right. That's a 3 on fealty.
Yeah.
And I got a 5 and a 1.
So that is a weak hit. So you get to pick 3 effects of backlash. You will definitely pull the key out, be able to open these doors like you would in the castle with no problem. You conceal yourselves from the vision of mundanes around and about. And I think you get this vision of something controlling the tides of the city and washing people out and drowning them in undertows and pushing and all of this kind of rising up, the
Interesting.
tides coming from like a golden city pushing up from under the waves for the best and the brightest and the most noble. What do you want for your 3 backlashes?
I think my 3 backlashes are, one is the darkness changes some part of your form as it leaves you. And I think where we have seen before, and even more now because it's one of his new like aspects of his castle form, there's that big like golden glowing keyhole in his chest in that form. I think now there is a currently fresh and painful, but like the scarred outline of that keyhole on his chest now.
Nice.
I like the chaos energy of a strange quirk of fate inflicts suffering on one of your covenants. And I'm pulling something across the world, so I think something notices, and the departing shadow will hunt you on your next delve. So something here in this world goes off, and something waiting for me in the next world.
Something left over from the castle follows you back there, and I think we see a accountant worker, like one of the drones from the building, kind of appear in the lobby, kind of look down at its hands, straighten its tie, and then head out. But I also think you get a call when you are done with this from Sugarhawk, who's like, "Oh my God, Sasha, they came in today and they shut my mom's restaurant down. We had a few weeks, but they got the health inspectors to come in and
The health
declare it.
inspectors came in?
then it's declared unsafe, and they moved up the eviction time on it, and they've locked us out, and like they're talking about tearing this whole place down.
But that's insane. I've eaten there every week, like for forever.
I know,
There's
I
nothing
know.
unsafe about it. There's nothing unhealthy about it.
Well, yeah, there's nothing unsafe about it.
Well, I mean, not like live a long life free of heart conditions sort of safety, but like nobody's keeling over from rat poisoning sort of thing.
No, not anymore. I mean, who doesn't want fish and chips like all the time?
They do smell amazing. How could they just come in and shut things down with no
I
notice
don't
like
know.
that?
There's something going on, man. Yeah, it just happened.
Look, I'm on the road right now. Give me some time. I'll look into it, man. I'll look into it.
Okay, okay. My mom's really upset. She thinks it's my fault.
No, it's not. It's definitely not your fault. I mean, how could it be your fault?
I don't know, but when things go wrong, a lot of the time in the past, if we go from previous experience, it has been my fault.
No, you tell her. I said it's definitely not your fault.
I'm not sure how much pull that has, but I'll say something to her.
I'm a pillar of the local business community. How could they not respect what I say about this?
It's because they don't know you're a anyway. Okay. Yeah, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, you good luck with your job tonight.
Yes, job. Yes.
And the working. Say hi to your sister for me.
Click. Gabriel, what do you want as your second action?
I've got a couple conditions that I want to clear.
Yes, you
so
do.
Probably should do like a let your hair down move or something like that that'll help clear a condition.
Yeah, what is that gonna look like for you?
I feel like we're incorporating the ocean water stuff into the story a little bit more. So maybe I'll just stick myself back down at the beach.
Stop by, talk to that barista.
That's what I'm thinking. I think I put down her name is Kyrie Sato. I'll stop by the kind of open air coffee place, get the coffee. Hopefully it's a nice day for it being as cold and windy as it perpetually is. Just that
she
kind
gives
of thing.
you a free small coffee to thank you again for having dealt with those jerks.
Yeah, so it's a pretty solitary pursuit, but I'll make small talk with her and see if we can at least kind of stoke the flames a little bit of that friendship. But other than that, I think that's the thing that I'm basically doing.
Then let's have you check against lack.
Okay, I think lack. That's all. I think that's. Oh no, that's only a 2 for me.
Look at you.
I was gonna say we're really doing great this time around. Let's see here. Okay. Boxcars, very good.
Very nice and a strong hit. So do you want to mark world and heal condition?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Which one are you healing? Callous or angry?
I'm thinking callous.
Okay.
So we'll clear callous and mark world. And that takes me up to 5 checks on world. So do I up a rank?
Yep, you clear that up at a rank and you get to take a world advance.
Okay, cool.
And then what would you like for your choice? You could refresh a gauge. You could. Now, do you already have her as a minor covenant?
I do not have her as a minor covenant.
You could add her as a minor covenant.
Let's go ahead and put that down. That sounds good.
Okay. Yeah, she chats with you for a while. I talks to you like a real person. He realized that she seems older, but when you're talking to her, you realize that she's probably actually around your age, like she's high school age. But what you will find out is that she essentially, this is what she does for vocational education. Like she's taken her her last year. She does half days and works this to get credits. She's like, yeah, and if they've got like some real training. If I do this, I can get on one of like the Starbucks like scholarship programs, or one of the other coffee companies. Some of them have those, and so that's why I do this.
Okay, that's impressive. And I mean, I'll say as much to her. Just kind of get a sense as to what she wants to do with her life and what she's into, and just small talk like you do. But no, she seems cool.
And there is a point which she says to you, "And what do you want to do?"
I'm gonna freeze and look real awkward for just a tidge there while we have that pregnant pause in the air. I look around nervously and just look at the ocean and say, I want to study fish, like work at an aquarium, that kind of thing.
Like a marine biologist.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I have a friend who does that out in University of Hawaii.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
I've never been out there, but that sounds really, really interesting. Yeah, no, I mean,
I hear it's
I've
really expensive in Hawaii.
it's a living hell. I mean, it's expensive. I don't know anything about living conditions, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I've got a giant clam.
Really?
Sure do.
Like in an aquarium?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a huge thing. It weighs like 10 pounds.
What do you feed it?
The
souls of the damned.
Well, I mean, they pretty much feed off of the bacteria and sort of naturally occurring ecology, and it's a long story, but it's
cool.
healthy,
I'll have to look that up. I've never
healthy
even
thing.
thought that you could do that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's neat. Yeah, I mean, if you ever want to come take a look at it, then I'm 100%. It's a cool clam. Do you want to see a photo?
Yeah.
It's and that's the gist of I think
that's perfect.
Gabriel's social skills. Yeah.
You like having the phone. The phone works.
Yeah,
the phone is a good barrier.
Flipping through it's great.
Charlotte, what do you want to do? Can you top the giant clam pickup line?
That's it. I can't. There is no coming close. No, that is really good. Let's see here. I think I want to do something that tells me something about what's going on.
Sure.
If we know it has to do with the water or whatever. I think after I've worked a good, like most of the day Saturday, I'll call it after about 6 or 7 hours.
Okay.
With everything sorted by size, and say I'll come back to sort by style and those things if you want me to. But you know what, guy, there was a little bit of money.
Absolutely.
And essentially, I think that what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go down to the beach, like where the surfers hang out, from and like kind of swim out from and all of that. And kind of talk to them about like changes that are going on around there, because like if the cheap restaurants are getting pushed out and stuff, they're going to know that. I mean, they're going to know kind of where up and down the beach there's the good surfing, but then also about the people that are on that part of the beach and what's going on with them. And I'll just talk to them about like we heard like people were getting pushed out, and what have they heard?
So this is a new way your target is hurting people, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to get.
Then that'll give you advantage on the next move. You'll go and talk to some of the surfers. They're kind of irritated because some of the places that they would usually like go like after they had surfed and head down to, a couple of those beaches have been closed off for various reasons. What you will get is a sense that this vassal is using not just the, okay, we're going to rezone it, but they are calling in a whole little puppet of bureaucracy. Like one of the beaches that they would usually use has been shut down for some environmental issues. Like they're going to do a study, an environmental impact study on the thing, and that has shut it down. And then you've got the health and safety department on another one. And in another place, they called ICE on a family that is legally resident, but maybe has a couple of relatives that are there that are more questionable and have kind of blown that up. Like this person is using all the little obnoxious tools at their disposal to cause these problems. Does that seem like a fair answer?
Yes, I think it is. And that gives me an advantage for when I go.
That will give you
if I-
advantage when you like follow up on those
Okay.
events.
All right, that sounds awesome. Because you don't want to roll rebel eyes without some kind of help.
Yes. Pam, what do you want to do for your second action?
So I've been debating between two different things.
Sure,
I think
sure.
I'm going to do something more high octane.
Okay.
I think that I'm going to try to, since I'm already probably aware of Sugarhawk's situation, if I hear that things have become more imminent with that particular problem, then I'm going to try to intervene with what paperwork I might have. I don't know
Well,
that
I want to actually, because I kind of put
Yes.
that in Sasha's bag, like as a
Oh,
thing
okay,
for
sure.
her to follow up. So I don't want to necessarily.
All right.
I mean, if you two want to work together, if you want to do a scene together on that, I'd be cool.
Okay.
But how do you? I mean, Sasha, Pam.
Yeah, I think working on it together would be interesting. I think
Okay.
Sasha, like riding home, put something angry into the like group chat about bullshit that's going on with Sugarhawk's parents and how it reminds me of like the nonsense I just had to go through with the historical society breathing down my neck.
So maybe Sasha, you're going to deal with the physical side, getting the place like cleared and unlocked, and Pam's going to look into the paperwork kind of thing.
Yeah, I can like I know Sugarhawk's family and I can stop in there and try and work things through from his parents' side if you want to look into what the actual like complaints and shit from the city is.
So Pam, how do you want to do this? Yeah, look, this is the wolf at the door.
Okay.
Unless you have a particular move that you have from your playbook. That
Well, I was thinking of confronting somebody in a bureaucratic office.
Okay.
But if that's not how
So
this, if it's something else, it's yeah, I'm okay with using wolf at the door for this.
yeah, I mean, if your particular thing is to fix this crisis, wolf at
Mhm.
the door is the one for that.
Okay.
So tell me which way you
Okay.
want to do this. Is it calling in a favor? Is it asking for help, or is it going and putting in the work?
Oh, I think it would definitely be putting in the work. I think
So yeah,
that,
give us a sense of what that looks like.
right. So a lot of what this comes down to is going in and sort of forcing and sort of almost babysitting paperwork to make sure that the bureaucrats are making everything go through proper processes,
Okay.
so that they can't finalize a sudden eviction or closure.
They don't move
they-
it up the few weeks.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it moves it back out by at least a few weeks.
Okay.
And just and also just like putting, just filing up, appropriate arbitration requests and so on to just like gum up the works a bit. But it's a deeply aggravating thing to have to work the gears of bureaucracy this way. So I'm probably just going, I think I'm going to take angry.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mhm.
And then Sasha, like when that like Pam kind of gets that slowed down, so to push that out. So here's the deal: is the health department still shut it down, but they haven't moved the eviction date up.
Gotcha.
But Sasha's mom, Sugar Hawk's mom is upset because there's a bunch of stuff that's locked in. They've sealed and locked the place up. And she wouldn't, like, she knows you can't go in. But on the other hand, she's also heard that you do work with locks, and she wouldn't want to ask you to do anything questionable.
Would it make sense to put this down under my crises? I mean, I think Sasha
Yeah.
cares about it that much.
Yeah.
Cool. So sort of treat it as there, but not imminent at the moment.
Yeah.
Does that feel right?
Yeah. So let's say that she's put that pressure on you, and we'll come back to maybe next time you're doing a wolf at the door to help out with that. Does that seem fair?
Yeah.
Like for the moment, you can go in and get some of her stuff out of there. That's a casual thing you can do.
And I think I'm gonna link that to my infamy, because
I like
she's
that.
like she was calling on the reputation and the sort of like nudge nudge, I know what you and my son get up to at night sort of thing.
Yes.
But in a different way.
Right. So that's our first day. I am going to stop here because this has been a long week and I'm still not at 100%. So but I want to get things set up. But I do want to do the wrap up to give everybody a chance to do that. We kind of got a nice setup. This will also be a chance to think more about our Carla Moreau, and what she's about and what that's going to look like. Sasha, did you make a difference to someone? Did the crew help you? Did you focus on your own battle, or did you focus on your mundane life?
Let's see. I feel like I made a difference to someone. I really liked the mission from Amira and getting in there and dealing with it in a messy and slightly supernatural way.
Yeah. So Mark World. And you can intensify your covenant with Amira if you want.
I think it is, yes, it is intense at the moment, but I will definitely mark world.
Okay. What about you, Gabriel?
I think I'm leaning towards focusing on my mundane life, although
Okay.
the scene with the skate witches was maybe not exactly mundane. But yeah, we'll go with that.
What do you want to refresh?
I'm thinking infamy, because I'm
Okay.
starting to seem like I'm kind of likable and endearing, if not a bit gawky.
I like that.
So we'll refresh infamy. And I had a quick question.
Yeah.
One of the options for my world advance is to commit to a major covenant. What does that do mechanically?
Commit to a major covenant.
You mark that commit box, and basically it gives you a second chance to fade that covenant before all the moves go away.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's
I
like
will
it
do
treats
that
it like
then.
your career covenant, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. I will definitely take that for Hysteria then.
Okay.
Thank you.
Charlotte.
I think that it would be hard to be more mundane than I was today.
Okay.
So whatever that does, that's what it is.
You get to refresh a gauge.
Oh, what does that mean?
You get to move a tick off of one of your gauges.
Ooh. I'm going to take one off of my infamy.
Okay. And Pam, what about you?
I think I spent the most of the session looking for that dog. So I'm going to go with mundane life as well.
Yeah. What are you going to refresh?
I'm debating. I'm thinking probably refreshing fealty, because it's like I'm more enmeshed in the world in the
Yeah, I
real
like that.
world. So that kind of works against fealty.
I make sense. All right. So you can do that. Thank you all very much. I'm going to stop here. We'll do stars and wishes at the end of next session. Once we kind of get a little further into investigation and get things set. I am going to stop the recording.